Hello, everyone. Jose J. Garcia with Garcia Home University here. Got a video for you on motivating circumstances from obviously a direct seller. I made a couple videos this past week, and I had some additional questions that came with. And one of those videos was making offers. When I related to if you're not making any offers, you're not going to get any deals, which enhance, that's kind of the way it works. If you don't make a single offer, for all you know, the seller may not even know if you're serious about buying or not. So you have to start with that making offers. You have to make phone calls. You have to place your physical advertising, your marketing on social media. So there's a lot that goes hand in hand on that. But the questions were, well, how do we know for sure if the seller wants to sell now? Certain things that I can ask. The questions just they were all around the seller, the direct seller, which are all good questions, by the way. So, much like there is no investment like another, there is no rehab like another. Everything is different. The same would be with the seller. One seller may be motivated to sell yesterday, the other one may be motivated to sell in 6 months. Definitely don't pass up on those 6 months. I have some contracts here and ready for some people who are closing late December this year. And that does happen. And I've had them over the years where, I'll set a contract and it all becomes of that follow up. Definitely don't lose follow up. If you do lock up a contract and agreement with somebody that's not ready to sell for 2, 3, or even more months, you want to make sure that you're following up every week, every other week. Just a quick little text, as simple as that. A quick little text. Hey, Mr. Seller, whatever his or her name is, just checking in. I know we're set to close on so and so date. Just want to make sure all is well. Simple as that. Keep your name in their mind is what I'm saying. Keep you in their mind so that when it is time, because it is easy that as time closes by, yes, you have an agreement. There could be another investor and they can take that deal right from under you. So, I think the longest length of one mobile home I had, individual one, was 6 months, where it was a continue just over, and it was a little different scenario, but it took 6 months to finally get the closing, and it did. Everything went, once it was there, the time, deal was easy, but it just took that 6 months to get there before we got the deals per se. So, that definitely happens. And, put those on a back burner, but keep them on site and keep working. Whatever you can close on today, tomorrow, the next day, those are obviously the hot, of the deals that you need to be focused on. But motivating circumstances, motivating sellers. Again, no seller is the same. You just have to fill them out. Be there for the seller. I say that over and over. This is not just a money thing. Be there for them. And the more you are, the more you realize they'll want to sell to you and not just another investor. Okay. But things that I would watch out for, I mean, ask. This is the reason why you ask is why are you selling? And without getting too personal with their business, is I want to know the reason, the cause behind they want to sell. And most won't hesitate to tell you, especially if it's more of a, I say a good reason where they're, hey, my family's outgrown this. I have another baby now. I'm going from a single to a double wide. Maybe I want to move to another mobile home park. Maybe I bought a piece of land. Now I'm gonna bring my mobile home. So there's good reasons behind that why somebody would also want to sell. It's not always that I'm losing my mobile home. I haven't paid a lot rent in 7 months. They're kicking me out. The taxes are behind, etc. So, but I like to find that out because that in itself is going to tell me how motivated are you? How distressed are you? If they tell me that, hey, I have not paid the lot rent in the past 3 months, haven't paid my taxes in the past 3 years, these are major red flags, no doubt. I appreciate the honesty each and every time because most people won't tell you that. They'll tell you the opposite. Then we figure it out during the due diligence. But that immediately tells me, okay, well, then this individual needs to sell right now. This is well past due. I mean, they're not going to catch up if they have not at this time. It's odds are it's on the way out. And they know that. The stress seller knows that it's one or the two. They can sell the home for whatever they can get for it, or they can lose it to the park because that park will take over that home eventually. Sooner or later, depends on the rule regulations in that county, depends on the time that they have to be able to give to this resident. They can take over that home, and basically the seller just loses it, gets evicted, and that home becomes a sale for the park. So, their best option there, of course, is to sell it to somebody, whether it's an end buyer or an investor. Job relocation would be one reason why people will need to move, need to be motivating circumstances. Especially if they're going out of state, maybe, or X amount of hours, they're probably going to want to relocate to something nearby to their job. Job loss that we saw a bit during COVID. Um, that was a hard one. That one definitely there. That is not easy to listen to when somebody's losing their home, and the reason why you're selling it. Well, I lost my job a couple months ago. I can't find one. That stings, but that would definitely be a motivating circumstance. divorce that would play out in his role. If there's a divorce, maybe they need to sell. So that comes with it as well. Elevating payments. Lot rents continue to go up. Some some parks I'm seeing them more and more, and I know things changing. The markets are going up. Everything relates to, but some parks are definitely becoming more and more aggressive. We're seeing that. We've seen a couple where we had a few investments on one, which that investment was done, so I was kind of noticing, but just the numbers that I keep hearing every year, $40, $50. I mean, it was up there. On average, you want to see maybe $10, $10, $15. It just varies. Some years they may even skip. Most parks that we invest in, they haven't gone up in 3 years. So, it just depends. So, and that's a quick tip for y'all, by the way. Maybe when you're calling some of these parks, you may want to ask, what is the current lot rent and when is the next time it's supposed to go up? To just be aware beforehand anyway. Death in the family, another motivating circumstance. Forced pay cuts. I mean, again, COVID was one that definitely highlighted quite a bit for most people, I think. I was furloughed during that event, and that's kind of the time when I left corporate America myself, early on COVID. But, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people didn't get their jobs back. So again, we're back to that in the sense of, sure, unemployment, whatever. We won't get into that. But overall, it's just, times are here. They're not paying for it. It's time to go. And you're seeing that. So motivating circumstance. Refinancing pitfalls, pending foreclosures. Yes, you can do foreclosures on mobile homes. Absolutely. Send me a message if you want me to make a video on that itself. Good place to buy. Inability to sell home. We see that. Usually when I see inability to sell a mobile home, it is usually a direct seller who wants too much for their home. That, everybody thinks their home is worth the most. That's plenty fine. But when you have 3 years behind on taxes, 3 months behind on lot rent, and you're still asking for something that's worth 2,000, 10,000, it's not going to happen. So you kind of know where that's at. And I mean, with every month that passes, that's just one more tacked on bill that it goes onto that home. I have run into, I think it's okay to call them stubborn, ran into a couple stubborn sellers who they basically would hold on to a property and they never did sell it to me. They allowed about 4 months to go by. And I remember that park, it was about 300, 350 a month. So I'm thinking the home is semi-rehab. Yes, it was an investor. They didn't want to rehab it again and put it back on the market because they were basically tired of renting it. Try to walk them through. They didn't want to hear what I had to say. That's plenty fine. So I was like, look, buy it as is. This is what we want. I can't remember the number. It was too high. So I tried to negotiate with them. And of course, I reminded them that, hey, you got a lot rent right around the corner. You're up to date now, but you're going to be, that's one more bill you got to pay. You can sell it to me at the price. Again, I don't remember the numbers. Nope, we're keeping it. Another month went by. Same thing. Another month went by. Same thing. Fourth month went by. So you can tell, let's even say 300 times 4. Would you have just sold it, then one, it would have been out of your hair. So at that point, you get rid of that and don't have to worry about it. But you will run into people like that who they'll rather hold on to it, and it's just they're trying to fight that. Can't stop the bleeding. That law rent comes around. Bills do not stop. So hey, but okay. Like a performance of our realtor, that's the last one we got listed here. And when you think about a realtor involved in mobile homes, that's typically more so if it has land. If it has land with it, then you would typically have a mobile realtor involved. If you get down in Florida, even mobile homes that are just in parks, those tend to be, realtors do a lot more mobile homes down in Florida. Now, of course, I cover the whole Southeast, so I can't speak for other states. I'm sure California, Washington, New York, etc. Same thing. But in the Southeast where I'm located, Florida is about the only state we have that realtors are real involved with mobile homes, both inside of mobile home parks and outside. Some with land, some without. So, but them too, they could have so many mobile homes or so many properties listed that your mobile home is just kind of sitting on the side, don't really pay a whole lot of attention. So that could be one reason. And after so many times, now if you do have a mobile home you're looking at, and maybe perhaps it is listed on Zillow, Realtor, whichever one of these sites, you can go in and see how many days that home has been on the internet. So you kind of give you an idea, and okay, this home has been sitting here for 188 days, 200, 4 days, that'll kind of give you an idea. Okay, well, this is a new listing, so. But all right, hope this video helps. Is motivating circumstances, ways to tell. And again, fill out the seller. All you can do is ask. And I mean, once you have the story enough of it, you can kind of piece them two together and realize that, okay, this seller here has to sell no matter what. Then you have sellers who are, again, are upgrading more than the other way around, and therefore, they can haggle with you pretty good. May or may not be a deal. So one of those kind of things. But all right, if you're looking for coaching, visit GarciaMHU.com. If you have any questions, send me an email, j@GarciaMHU.com. Till next time, thank you for watching.